welcome to my channel, Surprise Comics. This is Matt coming back at you with another set of CGC books that have come back from CGC. So these ones I actually got back a couple weeks ago. Just haven't had time to, with all the contests and my other hauls going on, I haven't had a chance to show these books off yet. Speaking of contests, my contest is still going on for those who are interested in making a submission. I've got a few more over the last few days. I'm going to post your names up right now. And if you don't see your name up on that page I just showed, that means you haven't made a submission, or I don't know about it, or you just barely submitted it after I process this video, or whatever. More and more people are joining. I'm going to keep the contest open to January 31st. And just let you know, it's just basically show me your top 5 to 10 books that you bought last year, whether they're favorites because they're books that have been on your list for a long time, or ones that help you finish a run, or just valuable books. However you want to break it down, that's fine. Make sure you mention me. Preferably put your name in my name in the name of the video so I can find it easily, and I'll get you in the contest. So I've been enjoying the ones I have seen. Hope to see more. Also, part of this thing is to make goals for what you plan on getting this next year. A lot of you guys, there's a tag video going on. I see a lot of people putting those up. So if you want to make it, you can definitely double up on the tag video or my contest video. If you want to combine the two together, it'd be awesome. But whatever you want to do, I hope you have fun with it. And any more information, just go back to my video where I introduced my contest a couple videos ago and watch that. Like the first 5 minutes kind of goes over the rules, and I gave an example of my top books from last year. So anyways, let's move forward. This is We Stand on Guard #1. Came back as a 9.8. It's a super awesome series. Came out last summer. Great read. Just finished up. I didn't realize at the time when I first started reading and buying it that it was only a mini series. Hopefully they'll come back with an unlimited series or just continue on, because it's not like it said 1 out of 6 or anything on the book, so I don't know if it would betray it. But of course you probably would get another #1 out if they do an unlimited series. I hope so, because it was a great read. Brian K. Vaughan story. It's next 4. These are kind of the last ones I had from my San Diego Comic-Con from last year. At Transformers Windblade, which is a Combiner Hunter storyline. I don't know a whole lot about it. It's basically got to exclusive. They had some pretty cool covers, nice artwork. Yeah, there's 4 of them that went together. Transformer More Than Meets the Eye, #42. And then regular Transformers, #42, is like a 4-part crossover. There was 2 that were like standalone or one-shots. This is one of them. This one, I think the first one I showed, the Windblade, I guess that was its own one. But this was a standalone one-shot. It was a Combiner Hunters crossover storyline. There was a 4-part story. And got all 4 of them. Probably sell that as a set. They all came back 9.6, which I wasn't terribly surprised, because the way that they were giving out the show and stuff was, I picked out the best ones I could. But, they came back with what they are. There's no major flaws on them. I think everything were just minor bends and stuff that probably could have been pressed out. But I didn't know if it was worth paying an extra $10 to get them pressed, so I didn't, which is why they're 9.6 instead of 9.8. So I'm probably going to start looking into buying a press myself and doing my own pressing going forward, because it seems like it's something that, as I do more and more of these submissions, and it seems like most of the time, I definitely can spot breaking white marks and or breaking color marks and things like that, but little things slip by me when I'm rating myself, and that's why I end up with 9.6s and 9.4s instead of 9.8s on everything. And I think a press would really help me out. But and a press isn't terribly expensive. especially if you can find one used on Craigslist or eBay or whatever. But if you do research, I don't know how many of you have actually done this, but take a few minutes to try to research how to press, and nobody wants to share anything they know about pressing. Once in a while you can find a video here and there, and it's mostly amateurs just trying to discover it for themselves, just sharing the little information they have. And so it looks like it's a real trial and error, because if someone's good at it, they're going to want to do it to make money, and they're not going to want to share their secrets with anyone else. I saw this one site where you can actually fly out and help this guy work 4 days. So basically like an internship for 1 day for him to show you some of his techniques on pressing, and it's like $1,500. I'm like, being able to do that alone would make it worthwhile. So I think there's something I can I got a lot of books that don't have great value, that are kind of beat up, and I could definitely have plenty of time to practice and do things like that. So hopefully in the near future I'll be getting my press. I'll definitely make a video about it. And I'm not looking to make tons of money by pressing books. I'm just trying to improve the books I have myself. And so that'll probably be a little series. As long as people like it and are interested, I'll make a little series about pressing and kind of show some of my techniques and stuff off as I learn to do it. But that's going forward a few months probably before I actually start getting into things like that. But that's just something on the horizon for my channel. So here we have Hawkeye. This book has really cooled off in the last couple of years. I remember when this, when I first got into comics a couple of years ago, this book was like ridiculously expensive. I picked it up out of at a half-price books for like $5 or something, and it seemed like it's pretty good shape. So I went ahead and sent it in. Came back a 9.6. Very happy with that. So next book up, we have George Romero's Empire of the Dead. This one came back a 9.6, a little lower than I'd hoped. I was thinking this one would be a 9.8, but again, it's those little things that I probably could have fixed with the press. We Love Comics is always talking about this book. This book has officially been picked up as a TV show on AMC. Who knows when that actually will happen. It seems like, I remember when Fear the Walking Dead was announced, and it was like 2 or 3 years from when it was announced to when it actually happened. And so who knows when this one will actually happen. Same with Preacher. It seems like things take a long time to get going on AMC. The only thing that seemed to happen, even a little quick, was Better Call Saul, but that was kind of like a sequel to something they already had going, so they already had the cast and things like that, or at least the main character. But going to be made into a TV show, so anytime that happens, it's a good book to pick up. So there's that. This one I showed last video, I had 2 copies of them. They went in on separate ones. And I have Legends of the Geomancer #1. And the last one I sent in, I was very sure I was going to get a 9.8. This one, to me, just didn't seem as nice. And so I was hoping for a 9.6 on it. I was worried I might get a 9.4 on it, and then it came back a 9.8. So even when, books I'm sure I'm going to get a 9.8 come back to 9.6, and books I'm sure I'm going to get a 9.6 come back as a 9.8, it's so subjective and so hard to determine what's actually going to happen. But super happy with that grade. I also sent in at the same time Legends of the Geomancer #2, which also came back a 9.8, which I expected. I'm thinking I'm going to collect all these as they come out each month. I have 3 and 4 already in really high grade. I'm going to send those ones in eventually and get those graded. I'm probably going to try to put a whole set together of 9.8s. Thought that'd be kind of a cool thing to have. So Legend of the Geomancer. These books were so popular when they first came out. People were talking about them. Now it's like hard to even know when they come out. Death of Wolverine, 9.8. I thought, why not send this in? It looked in really good shape, so when I sent it, got 9.8, just like I expected. Not much else to say about that one. The next book was a pretty big disappointment. They got Wolverine #1. I bought this one online, and the guy had it rated as a 9.6. And when I got it, on the pictures online, it looked pretty good. Like it could be close to that. I don't know. when I got it in person, I looked at it, and it definitely was a 9.6. I thought it'd be a 9.0 or 9.2, so I went ahead and sent it in anyways. And I was pretty surprised it came back as an 8.0. It's probably one that really needed a press, but I didn't give it one. So on the back, you know, these early Wolverine covers, got the nice artwork, and there's a little bit of stuff here, so a dry clean would have helped it. And you know, it is what it is. It's still an awesome book. And this book is another one that just fluctuates. It's like some weeks it will be going for, you know, $50, $60 and other raw, and then other weeks it's going for like $10 raw. So you never know what you're going to get for it. It's a graded copy. I didn't pay a whole lot for it, so I'm not terribly disappointed. I bought it during one of those weeks when it wasn't worth a lot, but it is what it is. I also, in that same deal, the guy had 2 auctions up, so I bid on his second auction. I won this one super cheap as well. And this one came back a little bit higher grade, 9.4. And, you know, it's actually, I was thinking this was about the same condition as the other one, so I was a little shocked that this one came back. I never know. Like, you can see there's some, it looks like it's almost foxy a little bit with the color. But I guess based on the grade, that's just how the book was made. They do that a lot where they make books and they put, like, things in on that. This one has an awesome back cover, too. The Wolverine gallery. All these early Wolverine books had them. One of the nicer things about the run, nice reason to get these ones graded too, just so you can appreciate the back covers a lot easier without having to remove it from its bag and board. But it's awesome cover, awesome story. It's one of the more valuable books in that run. So super excited to have it. This book I actually bought off the newsstand the day it came out. I read it, and I was able to find another copy super cheap. And you know, I have the whole run of Harley Quinn, and when I have things in my like personal collection, I like them in good shape, but it's not like, you know, I don't get like way into like having super high grades. So, you know, I'll take something that's a little lower grade, put it in my collection, and, you know, sell something out of my collection so I can get more stuff. So this one is a 9.6 Harley Quinn, number 0. You know, look at all these. I know some people were trying, like, there's all these people that are on here, and there's even more people on the inside that worked on this book. It's a really fun book if you ever get a chance to read it. It goes through kind of determining who's going to be the creative team that works on Harley Quinn. And they have, you know, Bruce Timm draws a couple pages, Jim Lee draws a couple pages, and real fun stuff. Adam Hughes is inside that too. So really good art, really creative stuff going on there. So if you're a big Harley Quinn fan, if you're a big art fan, this is a cool book to pick up just so you can see everything inside and see all the different, because it's, you know, all these artists, they're only doing 1 or 2 pages. So, you know, so 17 artists all telling me how good I look. So that's, you know, all these artists, they're only doing 1 or 2 pages, so it's not like they get fatigued doing, you know, Harley Quinn book month after month. This is like their best work. So, you know, definitely pick it up and take a look inside if you haven't taken a look inside that book yet. Probably get it in the trade as well. Also, to go along with that, I got Harley Quinn number 1. It's good stuff. It's fun little book. Next one I picked up, Killer Frost, Villains Month. Got that one super cheap, so I thought, why not send it in with, you know, her character soon to appear on Flash. I figured it would be a good one to have. It's a really cool cover, especially with the 3D effect and the ice coming out. You know, so of all the 3D villain months, that was one of the nicer covers I thought at the time. So got it super cheap, sent it in, came back high grade, can't beat that. Yeah, to be honest, if there was anything less than that, I've been pretty disappointed with these lenticular covers. You know, they're really, you know, you really have to be mistreating your comic to get less than a 9.8 on those. You also have Batman Annual number 1. If you're a Mr. Freeze fan, this is a must-read book. It's a retelling of Freeze story, making him even weirder and sicker. than he already was with Scott Snyder's twist on him. Definitely must pick up. Awesome cover. Also ties in the Night of the Owls storyline, or the whole Court of Owls storyline. So a great book. Came back 9.6. Super happy with that. This book is also, it's the Catwoman number 13. It's Death of the Family. This is kind of like the prologue. Actually, it says it right there, prologue to it. The first month Death of the Family started with number 13. And there was a problem, I think, with the books. And so everyone that came out that month, if you know, you're looking at these Joker face mask books. Some of them are real valuable. Actually, none of them are terribly valuable anymore, but at one point, you know, they're worth a lot more than they are now. But there's 3 that stand out more, or actually 4 that stand out in value a little more. And the books are 13, so it'd be Catwoman 13, Batgirl 13, and Batman 13. All have a little more value. I don't know if there was just a shorter print or something got mixed up at the printers and they just didn't make as many of them. I remember talking to the guy at my comic book shop probably a year after this one came out, because they had a similar problem with another book where they just didn't print as many as they usually did, and so there was a supply and demand problem. Also, this is like the first part of this Death of the Family, and they didn't know how big or how popular it was going to get, and so books like Batgirl and Catwoman, who have naturally shorter print runs, you know, all of a sudden all these Batman fans were trying to, people who just bought Batman were trying to buy him, and that also created bigger demand. So Catwoman 13, Batgirl 13, Batman 13, and even Suicide Squad number 14. Those ones with the die cuts are worth a little bit more. The other ones like Detective, Nightwing, Red Hood with the die cut, you know, they're more dollar book type books. You know, I want to pay more than $3 or $4 each for those, where you could spend easily, you know, $10, $15 on books like this. Let me get these out of the way. Speaking of Catwoman, I also have Catwoman number 1. A little disappointed this one came back as a 9.6. I bought a set of 3 books from a guy. It included Catwoman 1, Catwoman 51, and Catwoman 13. The other 2 came back as 9.8s. This one came back as a 9.6, and really they didn't even have any notes in the graders notes. I can't even tell you why it got a 9.6 instead of a 9.8. Cool book. You know, this book goes into a little bit of the relationship between Batman and Catwoman. So, this book is another one that disappointed me a little bit with the grade. It came back in 9.4. This is the first appearance of Red Hulk in Hulk number 1. Thunderbolt Ross is the character who becomes the Red Hulk. He is going to be in the Civil War movie, and there was a lot of speculation when he was first announced to be in the Civil War movie that he was going to actually show up as Red Hulk in that movie. I haven't heard much speculation about that since, but it doesn't, just because, but his character is being introduced into the Marvel movie continuity. He showed up eventually in that one Hulk movie that had Ed Norton in it. And you know, that is part of the continuity, even though it's not really considered. You know, people don't really include it in conversation with all the other Marvel movies. You know, according to Marvel, it's part of there. You buy the DVD sets and stuff; it's often included. So this is his first appearance. Cool cover. I like the fire and the heat coming off him. So there's that. To go along with that, these are both kind of books that picked up a lot of popularity over the summer. We have Inhuman number 1, who is the first appearance of Flash and Inferno. If you've been watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you've seen who Lash is and what he can do. They're really doing that character well. So you know, it's awesome to have his first appearance here. Inhuman number 3 has a really awesome cover with Lash on it. So if you're a Lash fan, that'd be another one to pick up. I have a couple copies of that somewhere. I picked up out of a dollar box, but not handy with me. It's not graded, but you know, this Inhuman storyline, I've heard a lot of buzz about it. Definitely going to be looking into reading it eventually. It kind of is what the storyline they're following on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with all these new Inhumans popping up, getting their genes activated and stuff like that. So that's that one. This one I talked about in the previous video a little bit. This is Grayson number 3. This is the 1 in 25 variant with the Chad Hardin cover. This has the first appearance of 2 of the main characters in the Grayson storyline, Agent number 7 and Agent 1, who's also known as Tiger. They've both recurred a couple times. This series is up to issue, I think, 13 now. I'm not sure how long of legs it has. If it's going to something that's going to keep going, is Spyro going to be a part of the DC continuity going forth with all these agents and villains? It's hard to say. After, you know, I'm reading Batman and Robin Eternal and Robin Wars, it seems like Dick Grayson's getting pulled back into Gotham more. And so I can easily see this series ending sooner rather than later. So, you know, at the time when I sent this book in, it looked like Grayson was going to be a long-running series and to definitely invest in some of the side characters in it. And now not so much, so who knows. But if you do, I picked up this book for like $3, I thought, for a 1 in 25 variant on an issue that could be a key issue. Why not send in to get graded too? I actually, after that, I picked the same issue out of a dollar box like a week later at a different comic shop. So if, you know, you like Dick Grayson, you're into, you know, speculating on first appearance, or just like to collect first appearance, not even speculating, this one has a couple in there, something to look out for. Next issue, the one I sent in, and it came back with a much lower grade than I expected. It's Deadpool number 51. It's not a very key issue. It's just a cover swipe. It's just an awesome one with Deadpool and Kid Deadpool doing the Batman and Robin from Detective Comics number 38 pose. You know, really well done. The colors are awesome matches, and it's interesting. You don't see a lot. You see a lot of cover swipes going on, especially within its own brand, but you don't see them too often where, you know, you're still in a cover swipe from another company. And I don't know if maybe because this book is, you know, 75 years old, you can cover swipe it without having to do pay any rights or royalties or copyright or things like that. You know, it's kind of cool to see the little signature. You know, it says, I can't even read his name, who did the cover. Oh, I guess it's Robertson or Derek after Bob Kane. So you don't see a lot of cover swipes after Bob Kane, but there you go. And if you're into cover swipes and you like things like that, in February, DC is doing a variant cover where they're all Neil Adams cover swipes. And you can find the art online. And there's some really cool books. And I'm definitely going to spend a little extra money that month to collect those because they all look really awesome. This one came back in 9.6, the famous Gwynnum cover with the, you know, this book was pretty popular when it first came out with the success of Gwenpool. I wouldn't be surprised if a Gwynnum popped up sooner or later. And really, it would make sense anyways because if Spider-Gwen has her own ongoing series, and you know, I haven't read it, so I don't know if it's in how much of continuity it goes with you know, if Peter Parker's there and Spider-Man's there and all that. But if it's a different world, you know, why not have the, the alien symbiote? If it attacks Spider-Man, you figure to attack Spider-Gwen too. So, this is something that could go on, something that could happen. So, it wasn't a terribly expensive book. I think I got this actually, I think I got this one just off the stand. And I know I missed out on it when it first came out. And so I had to go back and try to get it later. Most of the shops around me were sold out. I think I found one. And then I was actually able to go on eBay, and I was able to get like 5 copies of it as a lot for like 12 bucks or something. So I picked them up even cheaper that way. So I had a few copies of it. It was actually, when I was looking, I remember I wanted to get another copy of it, and I could buy 5 copies for 12, or I can buy like 1 copy for 8. So it was a no-brainer to buy the 5. So. And all these books, when I've submitted them, I've had the worst luck with 80s books. I can never get terribly high grades. It's actually one of the higher ones. I got the Fear of Firestorm. Number 1's first appearance of Black Bison. And I got it pretty cheap. I think I only paid like $5 for it. And it came back in 9.4, so I can't complain too loudly about it. But not much to say about that one. Like the other ones, you want to get the Lone Ranger Western Town, it's free. So maybe I should clip that out and send it in. I don't know if it's too late. Oh, the offer expires June 30th, 1982. So I guess I can't do it. We got Amazing Spider-Man 530. This is the second appearance of the Iron Spider armor. 529 has the first appearance. Really cool cover. A lot of these Road to Civil War titles have been heating up in the wake of the movie. Or I guess not really in the wake of the movie, but in the wake of the trailers and stuff coming out. Spider-Man hasn't shown up in the trailers at all. And Spider-Man hasn't really... he came into the deal got worked out so late in the production of the movie. I wouldn't expect to see a whole lot of Spider-Man. Some people are speculating that the Iron Spider is going to show up in Civil War. Personally, I'd be extremely surprised if that's how they introduce Spider-Man into the Marvel continuity, is as Iron Spider, or as him shortly becoming Iron Spider later. So, I wouldn't speculate this book based on that. There's been talk that he's going to have a relationship with Tony Stark, which if you've read Civil War, it makes sense that he would, because he's kind of the, I just don't know how they're going to work him in. And it sounds like the Civil War movie isn't going to be, it's going to have obviously some similarities to the comic books, but the things that started it and the reason they're fighting is a little different than what it was. I don't think it will end the same way based on Chris Evans' movie deals, and I don't think it will start the same way, and I don't think it will involve all the same characters, but who knows. Cool cover, cool character, cool costume. Got it cheap, so I was happy with that grade. Definitely, why wouldn't I be happy with the 9.8? Last 2 books. I picked up Deadpool number 9, which is the first appearance of Death Trap, one of Deadpool's reoccurring villains. It's one of those books people say to watch out for. Deadpool, I found it pretty cheap. Sent it and got graded. Came back nice with a nice grade, so can't complain about that. There's obviously going to be Deadpool sequels based on just the success of the trailer alone for the Deadpool movie. It should be interesting to see how this the R-rated superhero movie goes, because there's been R-rated comic book movies before, but those weren't really, besides the Punisher ones and the Blade ones, and even those aren't the same type of superhero as, even Deadpool with the flashy costume and things like that. So I expect it to make a lot of money. It's just how much a lot of money. It seems like the biggest thing that could prevent it from being one of the biggest superhero movies of all time is the rating of the movie. But, you know, the people who made the movie, they wanted it to be a certain way, and it's good for them that they're able to do it how they want to do it and not have to water it down to make it a family movie. And, you know, a lot of kids, you know, I remember as a kid, I was never allowed to watch R-rated movies as a kid, but all my friends were always watching R-rated movies. And every time I'd go to a sleepover, you know, the parents would come in and say, "Oh, we want to rent the movie for you guys to watch," and it'd always be an R-rated movie. And then I'd always get in trouble when I got home because I watched an R-rated movie at my friend's house, and you know, then my parents would have to call them the next time and tell them that I'm not supposed to watch R-rated movies and stuff like that. But you know, can't complain. My parents were watching out for me. I want to make sure I wasn't exposed to things I shouldn't have been exposed to at young ages. So no regrets there. Last comic I'll show is Deadpool Merc with a Mouth #1. Got this one for cover price just a few months ago, and came back in 9.8. First appearance of Dr. Betty Swanson. This is a cover swipe from Strange Tales #1. And the whole Deadpool Merc with the Mouth run, they're all like pretty much cover swipes, and they're all really cool covers. And you know, it's definitely, I'm not a huge Deadpool guy, but if I was ever going to be collecting Deadpool, that'd probably be the run I'd want to collect just because of the covers alone. There's like a, you know, I have a couple other ones in that run. I have one that's the Nirvana album cover swipe, and another one that's the Scarface swipe, which are pretty cool covers. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the haul, my CGC books. Nothing terribly exciting in this one, just some more things to, you know, kind of fill out my store on eBay, and you know, things that help me get some more comics in the future. So thanks for watching. I hope everyone had a good time.